Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
Hold on to your lug nuts. It's time for an overhaul.
Turn it up some.
I'm your huckleberry.
I don't give jobs, I hire men. You won't give me anything, and I won't give you anything.
Collision, sir.
Whoa, relax. We're not even moving.
There's no crying in baseball!
Live and statewide from Spence Broadcast Plaza, we're News New Mexico. It's Tuesday, April 17th, Tax Day. I'm Michael Swickard. We have Aaron Henry Diaz here. Jerry Harden is our producer-director. You can go to newsnm.com and follow along on the Newsmaker line. We have Marita Noon. She has a website, energymakesamerica.org. Org. Don't do com, do org. It is org. Welcome, Marita.
Good morning. It's good to be with you as always.
You have an article this time, and we've got it on our website, talking about oil prices and the battle for gasoline and stuff like this that can get pretty technical. So we need to be careful. But there is a lot of stuff going on because refineries do things differently than they did, say, 20 years ago or 30 years ago.
Oh, gosh, I worked so hard on that article to make it not sound too technical. I had to really upload a whole lot of information into my poor little brain so even I understood it.
Yeah, well, one of the things, and we need to alert people that natural gas went from $12 a decatherm, and you could call it, there's a lot of different things you can call it. I've always called it decatherm, but it's what, CMF and whatever, million BTUs, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever the measurement is that it's priced at.
Yeah, but it's priced at. It was about $12. It's down under $2. It's headed to $1.50. So that will have an effect on a lot of stuff because in the old days, they didn't have a way to turn natural gas C3 into C6, which is gasoline. But now they do. They actually can do that. So it may come back up when they start making gasoline out of natural gas. Because they've got C3 is natural gas, C4 is propane, C5 is butane.
Now, see, you're getting far more technical
I know.
than
I went too far.
in my article. I tried to keep it at a kind of a base level.
What you're talking about is that somehow we need to do the things we need to do to have more gas in America, right?
Yes, that's. But I was specifically referencing gasoline because there is a preponderance of thought out there, and it's perpetuated, interestingly, as I call it in the article, by some strange bedfellows of Bill O'Reilly from Fox News Channel and Democratic Congressman of Massachusetts, Ed Markey. And Ed Markey is one of the co-authors of the cap-and-trade bill, which was originally called the Waxman-Markey bill, which failed back in summer of 2009. Well, it was passed by the House in June of 2009. And but Ed Markey and Bill O'Reilly are two of the loud voices that have been perpetuating this idea that we need to not sell fuel overseas, because in 2011, fuel was America's #1 export. And so there's this thought going on out there that if we would keep our American resources at home, they would be lower priced. But because they are sold on the global market and therefore priced on the global market, that these resources are more expensive. And so what I tried to do in this column is to look into that and see, is there any truth to that? What are the ramifications of that, and so forth?
Well, the question would be, all the Alaska oil that comes out of the Alaska pipeline at Valdez, where does it go?
Well, some of it, I don't know about the pipeline per se, but some Alaskan oil goes to Russia because that's where the closer supply is.
Right.
But I believe the Alaska pipeline oil, most of it comes to America, to California in particular.
Actually, no, it goes to Japan. Do you know why?
It goes to Japan. Why?
Because it's closer there. And so what we do is we trade oil tankers coming from Saudi Arabia with oil that was bought by Japan, but would have a long trip to go to Japan. We trade, because it's fungible, we trade that fuel for the fuel out of the pipeline because you can't stop in Washington, Oregon, or California if you're a tanker coming down from Alaska. You have to go through the Panama Canal and go to Houston. And so it makes much more dollars and cents for us to trade the fuel. Here in New Mexico, if you're in the south end of the state, you buy your natural gas in Farmington, but you actually get it out of El Paso coming up in a pipeline because, again, it's fungible. And so all this trade around obscures the idea of where you buy and sell your resources. If they want gas prices to go down, drill more.
Yeah, and that's why in the article I referenced oil, I referred to it kind of using the same concept that you're saying, is that it's kind of like a melting pot.
It is.
What's in the refineries themselves may have some fuel from Brazil, perhaps some from the Middle East, perhaps some from here and some from there. But the bottom line is that we in America use more fuel, more oil currently than we produce currently. And so regardless if we said, well, let's keep it all here in America, it's not going to make any difference because we still need to import a whole lot of oil.
And again,
as you said, the best option is to drill more.
Drill more, and at the same time, here in New Mexico, we need to protect our stripper wells, because those are wells where they get 20 barrels a day, 25 barrels a day. Most wells, when they come online, you're talking 500, 600, 1,000 barrels a day.
Right, when they're new and fresh.
When they're new and fresh. These are toward the end, and right now in New Mexico, we're not protecting the fact that it's hard to take those last 20 barrels out. It's much more costly for people to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's more expensive. I just got an email this morning just before I came on the air with you that was talking about that we need, I don't remember exactly what it said, but because I looked at it and just went, oh my gosh, and closed it. But it's something that says we need to forward this to everybody we know and let them know why gas prices are so high. And here it says the subject line is, please forward to 10 more people, let them know why gas prices are so high.
When we come back, more with Marita Noon, EnergyMakesAmericaGreat.org. It is 14 minutes past the hour.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all?
That's easy. It's Marita Noon, especially compared to me and Aaron. There's no comparison. Marita Noon, EnergyMakesAmericaGreat.org. So, Marita, you're talking about that America's using less gasoline, but the price is going up.
Well, as we were discussing it, of course, gasoline or oil is priced on a global market. And it costs, as you were saying about the stripper wells in New Mexico before we went to the break, is that the cost of getting some of these resources out is higher. The stripper wells, the older wells that have the freshness, the gushing is gone, and we have to really work to get that resource out. And then, of course, we've got the shale gas, which is, and shale oil, both, which is available, but it costs more to get out. Then you've got the deep sea, the offshore resources, and that costs more to get out. We've used up the majority of the so-called cheap gas that is out there. And I was mentioning before the break this email I got, and I've got it open in front of me now, and it says that the goal is to have oil at $1 a gallon. Now, it says $1 a gallon oil, not $1 a gallon gasoline, but anyway, that shows some of the flaw in the thinking there. But it costs more than that to extract the resource. And we started out our conversation with you talking about the decades low price of natural gas and that it's still dropping. And the price of natural gas has gotten so low that you can't extract it for that price. And so a lot of the companies are shutting in the wells until the price comes back up. Again, it's a global price based on supply and demand.
Yeah, North Dakota's just about to take a big fall, and they know it. There's no way, their economy is just booming right now, but once you get under $2 a decatherm, their economy is about to head down. But really, if I was to place the blame, it's that when was the last time we built a refinery? We built a refinery, I think in Brownsville. Valero did in 1984. Haven't built one since. and therefore all of our refining is 30-year-old technology, you know.
Yes, in fact, one of the comments on one of my columns said they need to build a refinery in North Dakota, and it's like, I'm sure they would like to, but we've got such a permitting nightmare that's why we haven't built new refineries. It's why we're not building new coal-fired power plants, etc., is that the permitting for this stuff is such a nightmare that you can expand a refinery, creating a Rube Goldberg, as I like to think of it, kind of setup, but you can expand a refinery more easily than building a new one. So again, we've got very screwed up priorities in Washington, D.C. regarding America's fuel.
Well, the cost you pay at the pump is directly related to the politics involved.
Yeah, it so definitely is. It so definitely is. And that was the good thing about Newt Gingrich's campaign for $2.50 a gallon gasoline, is that it brought a lot of attention to Americans to how much the politics plays into this. As we've talked many times, Keystone Pipeline is just kind of the poster child example of this, just like Solyndra is the poster child of the president throwing good money after bad.
Absolutely. Marita, what are you going to do this week? You going somewhere?
No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm home all week.
Wow, you're going to make cookies and stay at home. Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to bake cookies like Hillary Clinton won't do, or like Hillary Rosen probably doesn't, but I might stay home and bake cookies.
We appreciate everything you do, Marita Noon, and people can see your column both on our site. They can go to townhall.com and see your stuff. Thank you so much for what you do.
Great to chat with you as always.
Every Tuesday we talk to Marita Noon in our second hour.